قبل از اینکه شروع کنم میخوام بهت بگم که تو به شکل تصادفی این ویدیو رو نمیبینی. پس اگر الان داری اینو تماشا میکنی مطمئن باش که این ویدیو جواب همه اون سوالاته، جواب سوالای کلافگی که با خودت فکر کردی چرا باید برای من این اتفاق بیفته، چرا من باید بیمار بشم، چرا من باید بی پول بشم، چرا. مطمئن باش که این ویدیو جواب سوالاتتو میده. پس تا آخرش با من همراه باش. سلام به همه مخاطبای گلم. باز هم به کانال سارا و رازهای ذهن خوش اومدید. داشتم به خودم فکر میکردم که جواب خیلی از سوالا رو ما نمیدونیم، جواب خیلی از چراها رو ما نمیدونیم. همینطور که داشتم با خودم فکر میکردم شروع کردم به جستجو کردم و توی اینترنت به یه سخنرانی خیلی جذاب برخوردم. سخنرانی از جوئل آستین که یکی از بزرگترین مربی‌های توسعه فردی و حوزه معنویه. بریم با هم یه بخشایش رو ببینیم و راجبش یکم با هم گپ بزنیم. احساس ناامیدی رو کنار بذار. بریم ببینیم چی میگه.
I want to talk to you today about beating bitterness. We all go through things that are not fair. People do us wrong. We didn't get the promotion. Came down with an illness. You can't stop life from happening to you, but you can choose how you respond.
این خیلی نکته مهمیه ها. ببینین اولش ما اصلا انکار نمی کنیم آره زندگی ناعادلانه است، اصلا قرار نیست که عادلانه باشه، اتفاقای بدی برامون میفته که واقعا حقمون نیست، اما ماییم که انتخاب میکنیم در مقابل اون اتفاقات چه واکنشی نشون بدیم و چه جوابی بدیم که برای خودمون بهتر باشه. بریم ادامه‌شو ببینیم.
If you hold on to the hurt, you go around dwelling on the offense, thinking, why did they say that about me? Why did I lose my loved one? Why did that friend walk away? Then you're opening the door to bitterness. When you're bitter, it affects every area of your life. Bitterness poisons your attitude to where you see things in a negative light. Bitter people don't have good relationships. They're easily offended. They'll jump down your throat for the smallest thing. It's not you, it's the bitterness coming out.
چقدر قشنگ گفت. یعنی انگار که اون حس ناامیدی حکم یه ویروس رو داره که تو وجود نازنین شما میاد رخنه میکنه و تکثیر میشه. این هی بیشتر و بیشتر میشه تا اینکه یه جایی از شما بیرون میزنه. آدمای بدخلقی رو میبینیم که اصلا با یه من عسلم نمیشه خوردشون. چرا؟ به خاطر اینکه اینها یه جایی تصمیم گرفتن که بذر اون ناعادلانه بودن زندگی رو تو وجودشون بپذیرن و اونو بارور بکنن و تمام وجودشون کم کم سیاه میشه. بریم ادامه‌شو ببینیم.
You may have a good reason to be bitter. Something was unfair. But holding on to it is only going to make it worse. It's going to steal your dreams, rob you of your joy. Bitterness can keep you from your destiny. Now, I know people that are still bitter over something that happened 30 years ago. Bitter because they were mistreated growing up. Bitter because a relationship didn't work out. You have to let it go. God sees what's happening. He knows what wasn't fair. He knows who walked away. And He knows how to make it up to you.
چقدر قشنگ گفت. ما هم تو فرهنگ خودمون داریم یه وقتایی اصلا یه ضرب المثل داریم که میگه بابا جان کت خدایی رو از تنت در بیار، تو که خدا نیستی. پس بهتره که بسپاریم به خودش وقتی که واقعا کاری از دستمون بر نمیاد، چون اونی که میدونه واقعا چی ناعادلانه بوده و چرا اون اتفاق ناعادلانه تو زندگی ما افتاده و قرار برای ما چه درس و پیامدی داشته باشه. پس بهتره که بسپاریم به خودش. یه سریا به من گفتن که این آدم بابا نفسش از جای گرم بلند میشه، الکی برای خودش یه سری شعار میده، ولی من بیشتر راجبش تحقیق کردم و بعد به این باور رسیدم که بیخود نیست، از سراسر دنیا این همه طرفدار داره. شما هم با من همراه باشین.
To make it up to you. He knows how to bring you out better. Let it go and trust Him to be your vindicator. The longer you hold on, the harder it is to get rid of. The more you dwell on it, the more you relive it, the more you let it bother you, the deeper it gets planted. The key is forgive quickly. Let go of things you don't understand quickly. When the questions come up, why did this happen? This isn't fair. When you feel the bitterness trying to take root, right then, God, I'm turning this over to you. I know you're my vindicator. I know you'll make my wrongs right. You said you'd give me beauty for these ashes. I've found bitterness is always knocking at the door. You didn't get the contract, bitterness will come, have a chip on your shoulder. That's not fair. The medical report wasn't what you wanted. Bitterness will show up. You prayed. You believed. Why didn't God answer your prayer? That's bitterness trying to come in. At the office, a coworker says something to try to make you look bad in front of people. Just a little offense, just a small seed. If you ignore it, no big deal. But if you start dwelling on it, start thinking of how you can pay them back, next time you see them, you give them the cold shoulder, then that little seed.
خیلی قشنگه ها. میگه شما تو بازی اون آدمایی نرین که در حقتون ناعادلانه رفتار کردن، چون باعث میشه شما آسیب ببینید.
Will begin to take root. Before long it will grow and pollute other areas of your life. That's why it says in Hebrews, make sure that no root of bitterness springs forth and causes trouble, and many become contaminated by it. Notice it refers to bitterness as a root. You can't see a root. It's hidden, it's underground. But here's the problem. A bitter root produces bitter fruit. If you have a root of bitterness, it will contaminate your life. I know a young man that became disgruntled with his employer. His boss was an older man, and he didn't feel like he'd been treated fairly. He moved on to another state, but over the years, he never let it go. He became more and more offended, kept talking about it, bringing up all the ways he wasn't treated right. His boss was good to him. He was generous and kind. There were just little things.
یعنی ببینین یه وقتایی هم آدمای مهربون، آدمای قدرشناس سر راه ما قرار میگیرن، اما مسئله اینجاست که ما انقدر از قبل از دست اون آدمی که در حقمون بدی کرده خشمگین هستیم که تمام وجودمون رو سیاهی گرفته. توی روابط هم همچین چیزی مصداق داره. آدم قبلی ما انقدر در حقمون بدی کرده که فکر میکنیم همه آدمای دنیا همین جورین، همه مردا اینجورین، همه زنها اینجورین. من اصلا دیگه از هیچ زنی خوشم نمیاد، از هیچ مردی خوشم نمیاد. اینجا جوئل آستین میگه که سریع ببخشید. یعنی اصلا به خودتون اجازه ندین که اون بذر بد اخلاقی و خشم ریشه بدونه و شما بخواین نقشه بکشین و وجودتون رو سیاهی بگیره. بسپارین همه رو به خدای مهربون، چون اونه که عادله و اونه که آگاه به همه چیز. ادامه‌شو ببینید، واقعا حق داره این همه خاطرخواه داشته باشه. شما با من همراه باشین.
This young man kept dwelling on, blowing it out of proportion. Because he wouldn't let it go, that small offense turned into a root of bitterness. He used to be happy, fun to be around. Now he's bitter, sour, has a chip on his shoulder. It's affecting his relationships. It's affecting his career. Proverbs says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. One of our most important responsibilities is to keep our heart pure. Life is too short to live offended, not forgiving, bitter over what didn't work out. You have to guard your heart. It's easy to let what's on the outside get on the inside. It takes discipline to say, I'm not going to dwell on that offense. I'm not going to go around feeling sorry for myself because something didn't work out. You only have so much emotional energy each day. It's not an unlimited supply. Do you know how much energy it takes to hold a grudge, to go around offended? That's wasting valuable energy that you need for your dreams, for your children, for your destiny. Quit letting what's on the outside get on the inside. Start guarding your heart. The Apostle Paul had plenty of opportunity.
میبینی باید هر لحظه مراقب قلبت باشی که اجازه ندی هیچ سیاهی، هیچ کینه ای، هیچ اتفاق منفی ناعادلانه ای به تو رخنه بکنه و وارد وجود تو بشه. ببخش و رها کن. نمیتونی بسپار به خدای مهربون، بگو همون جواب تو میده. تو فرهنگ ما این هست و ببینید که چقدر فرهنگ ایرانی و فرهنگ شرقی غنی هست.
To live offended. He said in one place, Alexander the coppersmith did me great wrong, but I'm not worried. I know God will pay him back. That's a mature attitude. Somebody did me great wrong, but I'm not upset, not bitter, don't have a chip on my shoulder. I know God is fighting my battles. I know God will be my vindicator. What's interesting is you can't see a root, but a root is where the tree gets life. We see the outside, the leaves, the branches, but the roots are what's feeding the tree. When your roots are healthy, positive, hopeful, then that's feeding you encouragement, life, strength, hope. The problem is, if you have bitter roots, you're not being fed the right things. You wonder why you don't have any energy, why you don't laugh anymore, why you don't dream like you used to. It's because those bitter roots are feeding you bitterness, self-pity, anger. That's draining all the strength, the passion, the joy. They're feeding you what they are. The good news is you don't have to live.
واقعا هم همینه. میزان انرژی ما هر روز محدوده. ما انرژی نامحدود نداریم. حالا این دست ماه که چطوری از اون انرژی محدود به نحو احسن استفاده بکنیم. اگر توش پر از خشم و کینه و حسادت و تأسف به حال خودمون باشه، من چقدر بدبختم که اینجوری شد، من چقدر خنگم که اینجوری شد، من چقدر بدشانسم که اینجوری شد، اون مقدار انرژی رو دارین صرف چیزای منفی میکنین، صرف تاریکی ها میکنین. پس جای تعجب نداره اگر بیماریتون بدتر میشه، اگر فقرتون بیشتر میشه و اگر مشکلاتمون توی روابط گسترده تر میشه. باید اون ریشه منفی ها و افکار بد رو سری بزنیم تا بتونیم از اون انرژی به نفع خودمون استفاده بکنیم. اوکی، برای ما اتفاق بد افتاده، برامون بدشانسی اتفاق افتاده، گیر آدمایی افتادیم که واقعا آدمای جالبی نبودن و در حقمون بدی کردن. اما نکته اینجاست که بابا جان خودت رو دیگه در حق خودت ظلم نکن. این کاری که میتونی بکنی. نه؟ بریم بقیه‌شو ببینیم.
With bitter roots. You need to ask God to show you what's causing you to be bitter. Maybe there's somebody you need to forgive. Maybe it's a dream that didn't work out. You're still sour about it. Maybe it's a mistake you made and you're still beating yourself up. If you'll be honest with yourself and say, God, help me to get rid of this root of bitterness. God, I'm still angry over what happened when I was 10. Still sour over the person that left. Still grieving over my loved one that I lost 12 years ago. God, I don't want to be bitter. I want my passion back. I want to love again like I used to. I want to dream again. God, help me to let it go and move forward. That's the first step to getting rid of a bitter root. Find out what it is and ask God to help you. You can't do it on your own. Ask Him to help you forgive the person that hurt you. Ask Him to help you release the bitterness, the resentment. When you get those contaminants out, you'll not only feel the weight lift off of you, but you'll get your joy back. You'll start dreaming again, and you'll see the new things God has in store. Years ago, there was a great outbreak of disease in a small village in Africa. People were being overcome by nausea and sickness. After a couple of months, it was so bad, people started dying. Word quickly reached the main city, and they sent out experts to try to find out what the problem was. After several days of testing, they discovered their water was contaminated. This little village got its water from a mountain stream. The researchers began to travel upstream to find out where the problem was. They traveled for days and days and didn't see anything wrong. They finally came to the source of the stream, Everything on the surface looked fine. They decided to send some divers down to get as close to the source as possible. Much to their surprise, they found a big mother pig, and all of her piglets were stuck right there at the source. Somehow the pigs had fallen in and drowned and became wedged right at the opening. Now all this crystal clear water was being contaminated as it flowed past the dead pigs. All they had to do was remove the pigs, and once again the water was perfectly fine. It's the same principle in life. We all have unfair things that happen, things we don't understand. And too often, instead of forgiving the people that hurt us, instead of letting go of the wrong, we've held on to it. Like those pigs, it's contaminated our stream. We wonder why we're negative, why we can't get along in relationships, why we keep losing our temper. We think this is just who I am. No, that is not who you are. You were created in the image of God. He made you to be happy, healthy, whole, secure, not bitter, angry, resentful. You need to go back and get rid of what's contaminating your stream. You need to find those pigs. Forgive the people that did you wrong. They hurt you once. Don't let them continue to hurt you. They can't stop your destiny unless you allow them to. You're not forgiving for their sake, you're forgiving for your sake, so your stream doesn't stay polluted. Quit reliving that dream that didn't work out, that business that failed, the contract that didn't go through. Let it go. God has another dream. That was a test. You had to go through those closed doors.
میگه خدا برات رویای دیگه داره. چقدر قشنگ بود این مثالش، این مثال خوک‌ها چقدر قشنگ بود. تو زندگی ما خیلی زیادن از این خوک‌های مرده که جریان آب و حیات ما رو دارن آلوده میکنن. چقدر قشنگه که اونا رو از سر راه برداریم. اگر زورمون نمیرسه از خدای مهربون بخوایم که خودش کمکمون بکنه، چون اون برای ما رویای بهتری داره.
That was a test. You had to go through those closed doors before you could come to your open doors. It may not have been fair, but God saw what happened. If you'll get rid of the pigs, if you'll turn it over to Him, start dreaming again, start believing again, start hoping again, God will pay you back for what didn't work out. He's going to open doors you never dreamed would open. He's going to bring people better than you ever imagined. What's in your future is much greater than anything you've lost. Now my challenge, don't let a dead pig keep you from your destiny. Don't let a bitter root contaminate your life. It's time to move forward. It's very freeing when you can let things go. Say, God, they did me wrong, but you're my vindicator. I had a disappointment, but I know you'll turn what was meant for my harm and use it to my advantage. I lost a loved one. Yes, I still miss them, but I'm not going to live bitter the rest of my life. I know they're with you, and you have a new beginning for me. That's how you beat bitterness. You guard your heart. You don't let what's on the outside get on the inside.
من که واقعا ازش لذت بردم و تحت تاثیر قرار گرفتم. مطمئنم که تو هم توی قلبت جواب سوالاتتو پیدا کردی. پس برای اینکه ویدیوهای بعدی رو از دست ندی حتما سابسکرایب کن و با من همراه باش. بابت همه حمایت هاتون ازتون ممنونم.